This week in Ken's Tech Lab, this is going to be episode 10 of the PRUSA MK4 Build. Hopefully today we get almost or completely to the end, and then the next video we can do a trial, or maybe if there's enough time we can get the trial done in this video. So let's sit back, get to the bench, and find out. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back to the bench. This is episode 10 of the build series of the MK4 by PRUSA. And today we're actually on assembly part 7, Y carriage and heat bed assembly. We're getting so close to the end, it looks like by the end of this chapter, we should be done with this printer. So, what do we got? Tools. Well, 1.5 millimeter Allen key, 2.0 millimeter Allen key, 2.5 millimeter Allen key, your Torx T8 and 10, needle nose pliers. Make sure I got them on the ready. Phillips screwdriver, check, and the universal wrench that doesn't fit anything. Check. Alright, we got everything. Here we go. We're going to go to the heat bed assembly. And this part is the heat bed itself. Here is, what do we have here? Two separate. Here's the heat bed and the steel sheet. Came with this also. Let's open this. We get to deal with more wires today. If everybody remembers last episode, running all the wires. And sorry that episode came out to 1 hour and 47 minutes. But it took me 6 hours to edit. So that makes you feel better. That was a long edit job. And I still didn't cut out as much as I was going to. Okay. We have this part. We need the black and the red wires, which are separate wires for the heat bed. Y carriage heat bed. It's got its own bag. Right there. And we have a red wire. We have a black wire. Looks like that's all we're going to need out of this bag. The heat bed cable red, the heat bed cable black, M3 by 10, our favorite screw. We need 2 of those. 1, 2, 3. I don't need 3. Only need 2. Thank you for playing. Alright. M3W washers. M3W washers. I need 2. There's the 2 M3 washers. And I just noticed looking in here, last episode, it asked to hold on to one of the nuts with the special wrenches that they give you. I found that wrench which didn't fit, and then I have this wrench, so they actually gave me two. I just didn't see the other one. It was kind of underneath all the different bags that I have here. Alright, M3N nut. That is the hex nut. The one with the little, I have one of them laying out here. And I need two of them, so I just need to find one more. Here's the bag for them. And let's grab one more. These are the locking nuts with a piece of nylon in the middle that stops it from backing back out. It's sort of like a Loctite. Okay. Alright, here we go. So what it wants us to do is put the cable. It is important to connect the power cable correctly. So I guess they have a positive and negative real thing. So let me look at this on the top. And yes, one of them says ground and one of them says VCC. So one for voltage and one for ground. And then of course there's a wire coming off for the temperature sensor. So we'll set this like this. Make sure, of course, you have the ground must be connected to the black wire. And I bet you the red has got to be on the VCC. Alright, they want you to put the ground on first, and it wants the screw, then the nut, oh not the nut, the washer, and then the cable. Okay, ground from the top, and I'll show you this after we get them both on here. Make sure that we get them in there correctly. And on the bottom, turn it over, and we can attach the nut. Now, one thing that's weird is that it's got a lot of screw hanging out the bottom for this. An M3x8 would have actually done this a lot better than an M3x10. But then how could they give us so many of them, right? Alright, let's see if one of these, like it says in the instructions, we're going to use the tool, and it's this tool right here to lock this nut on, and it'll hold it while we actually tighten it on the other side. This should be fun. Okay. Now, let's loosen this a little bit. And get that exactly where we need it. And put our tool in. There we go. Nice and tight. Remember, loose wires with electricity going through them causes heat, and then heat causes fire. Alright, the black is done. Now it's time to do the red. Repeat the procedure for the second red plus VCC wire. Use the end of the cable that is not labeled. So we're doing the exact same thing that we did the first time. First, let's set up the screw that's going to be the actual screw itself, the washer, and then through there. Then we put it on the positive wire, and the positive wire goes through. Then we take the second lock nut, get it hand tight, as good as we can do. Get our wonderful holder, hold it. Okay, get it a little bit tight and then move the cables so it's pointing straight out, like it shows in the instructions, and then you can tighten it down all the way. Okay. So now you have 3 wires hanging off. So you have the sensor, temperature sensor, the red and black wires. And then the lock nut on the other side. Alright, so it says now, after they showed them straight out, that both wires, instead of them being straight out like this, it's showing that they need to be toward each other a little bit. And I don't know if I can do that. Nope, I have to loosen it. Because they put a piece of plastic over this, and let me get my holder again. And a piece of plastic is not going to fit if they're not aiming toward each other a little bit. Okay, there we go. Alright. Plus, actually, that puts it into a nice, they go together like they were a single red and black wire. Which, I don't know why, instead of doing 2 separate wires, why they didn't do a wire that's put together to the end already. Matter of fact, with this one, I believe they could have put it together and put it into the wrappings that we're going to put it into later. So out of that bag where I had the wires that has the nylon, this is just like when we did the other wrap up here. It came with a piece of nylon. It's actually, I think it's just a piece of nylon filament that they stick in the bag. So if something happens to this little piece right here, and if you have a nylon filament at home, just snap off a same size and it'll be good to go. Alright, heat bed cable cover bottom and top, which should actually be in our plastic side. Not too many bags left to go through now. We've built a lot of this already. And if this does come out early, because I am making this video very early than I normally make videos, it's because I have new printers coming. And the MK4 needs to be completed so I can make room for new printers. Okay. I'll be needing this more, so I'll leave that right there. And we have the top and bottom. 3 3x10s. So now we're going to use up the 3x10s. That's three 3x10s. 3 of the normal hex nuts, or the M3N, which are these. There you go. And that's 4. That's one too many. What else are we going to need? Let's make this a little brighter for me. We're going to need the textile sleeve 5 times 350 times 1. Okay. That should be in this bag. In the picture, you're going to see the other two that we've already used. That shows the 8x520, which is right here, which we've used way earlier. It shows this one right here that we used way earlier. But in the bag, the only one you're going to have is the one that it's pointing at, and that's the only one that's going to be in this bag. Okay, we got all these. It wants us to pop in the nuts into the bottom, so we're going to do that now. There's two ways to force these things in. One is to put a screw in there and pull it in, pulls it in straight. And the other way is to get it somewhat started and beat the hell out of it. There's two. There we go. It'll pull it in once we get the screws in here anyways, as long as they're all, you can see them, right? And then you can see the hole, whoops, directly through the screws that are going to go in there. And they're straight. And here the instructions do say use the screw pulling technique. I think that's a lot slower than what I just did. Okay, the little hole that's right there in the center, it wants us to put the thermistor wire through that, so it's going to come underneath and position it like it's going to be and run the thermistor wire right through it and out. Now it wants us to, there's a little hole in the top of that cover that was right by the slit, and it wants us to put the nylon into that hole. Which I'm doing right now. Okay. It doesn't say how far to put it through the hole, but it says put it through the hole. And it wants it pointing up. Up and over. Okay. Okay, so it says once you get it through, don't let it go out more than 2 millimeters out the other side. And make sure it doesn't hurt the thermistor cable. Make sure the curve in the cable is showing it's going back above and around. That was easy. And then looks like it wants the red and black cable, one on each side of the wire. Like so. Okay, that looks good. And then it wants us to take one screw and put it through the center, not putting the cap on yet, just putting the screw on, and that's going to help hold it in while we're doing all this other stuff. So try to get it hand started. And it should hold it for you because I was holding it myself until this part right here. Okay? And that goes over the two screw, the actual, on the bottom of the screw was pushing out the bottom. Remember I said it was too long, and this is going to cover, is going to actually, it goes in through those. Kind of centers it for you. So now we need to wrap or assemble the heat bed cable cover top. This is step 10. It says wrap the end of the cable bundle together with the nylon filament. In the textile sleeve, slide the sleeve as far towards the heat bed as possible. Attach the attach the heat bed cable cover top onto the junction screws with the two M3x10 screws. Okay. So it's time to get that mess into one of these. So I'm going to do that now. And I'll probably skip over some of this because you can't really see it and it's boring watching someone try to get these in the sleeves. Unless they're cussing, that might be fun to watch. And don't really worry about how far down you have it right now, because the only thing you're trying to do is get this stuff in the sleeve. And that's hard enough without worrying about how far you have this stuff already in there, because it's not going to play nice with you. You can think it's going to be easy after you get it started, but you are absolutely wrong. Its whole job is to get out of this net that you're putting around it. While you're putting it around it, you can say to yourself, you're the boss of the wire, you're the boss of the wire, over and over again. But you'll be lying to yourself. But if it helps you get it in this sock, go for it. All right. Now once you have it all the way up, okay, put it all the way up. There, it's on. That was fun. Go up as far as possible without actually doing that. And then they want you to put the top half on. And then you have two screws. They're going to hold this whole mess together and bring it all together and hold everything So you have to hold it tight with one hand. And watch it not hold because your screw isn't going down far enough. So we'll get it a little tighter. There we go. I think I felt it catch. Did. One side caught. Okay, don't forget this is bringing up the two nuts that you had that I pushed in, so it didn't really pull them all the way, and there we go. So, whoops, when you're done, there we go. That, and like that. Look over the instructions again. Make sure that you didn't miss anything. And it wants to make sure that the two backs are sealed, so make sure that they're tight. Alright, so after you get done, make sure that you twist the whole thing. This locks everything in place all the way to the end. Okay, looks like we can set this aside for now, the heat bed. So put that aside, and now we're going to get out the frame. So I'm going to put this back over here. This is going to be just like we did the other part with the bearings and the clips and the holders and the pads. This is a little bit different from the MK3 Plus, is that they actually put in some rubber padding on each one of the clips to cut down on noise and vibration. Okay. We need 3 bearings. Let's see if they put those. Yeah, they're all in the same bag. So let's do this. So I can put this together. I think we can do without the MK4 right now and have this out by itself. There. I like the bench clean like that so we can work. Clips. Bearings. So that's 3 clips. So 1, 2, 3. Three bearings. And 3 of this plastic rubber. They show white in here, but they're black. So how is this? Let's see. Rubber bearing pad times 3. Those are black. So those are 1, 2, 3. And then you have the plastic bearing pad, which is clear. So those are on that side. 1. They're hard to see in the package, so don't discard them by accident. If you've been opening up all the bags and like maybe you're going to do this and put up, instead of leaving them in the bags, making a set, an installation set. And we need to find one more. There it is. Is it between these two bags? It's 3. Great, we have everything that we need. And M3 by 8. M3 by 8. We need 6 of them. M3 by 8. We need how many? M3 by 8. 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 spare. Yep, 1 spare piece. That's all that's in this bag. And 3 by 6s are done. 6 screws. And they're showing us that we need to lube them using the smaller orange, because we used the big one already. This is the bags they really don't want you to open. It's because they have oil on them. And they get all over. Okay, so that's nice there. We'll open up all 3 of these. So we're done with this process. Cool. Three. Okay. Let's see how much grease we got left in this tube, which should be pretty good. Okay. Go in, lock. Okay. Get myself a little paper towel. Get the excess gone. We only need it on the inside, not the outside. Okay, go in, turn it, and you should see it, because what it does is it locks this right into the bearing itself. One more. Eventually, you're going to have to re-grease these, clean them and re-grease these in the life of the printer. Okay. Good. Okay, that's done. Yeah, they show a full tube. You don't get 2 tubes with this. So whatever you use for the first tube, whatever's left is what you got. They're showing you to put the cap on, turn it, lock it in place, and then lubricate the bearing. And do that to all 3. Alright, assembling the bearing clips. So with how they want it put together, and this is going to be on the bottom, so the bottom, and there's going to be one, so let's get this in the right orientation. The screws straight up and down, and again, right orientation. Alright, now we have it per the picture. Remember, the pictures are always on the bottom here. One right here, one here, one here, and that's the 3. I hope my table's uneven and not this, not this. So, they want the clip, rubber pad, plastic pad. Screw 1. Easier said than done, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build it up here first. Screw in. Okay. Screw in. The last one I believe had 2 screw holes separate, not like these. These are different. I'm not saying they're bad, they're just different. And put it in there, and then slide it in, and this kind of like holds the screw in. Now that it's in, now we can put the plastic one in over that. Okay. So it doesn't matter about the orientation, you know, with the 2 screws, as long as you don't tighten it down too much until you actually get the. So I see that they want to come apart, and that's normal. Okay, start 1. Okay, we got them nice and still loose. Then you can take one of your bearings, slide it through. It's going to be sitting on the rubber. And this is where they're going to tell you the right way and the wrong way. So the right way, just like the other bearings we did, I think it was on episode 3 or 4, where the 2 bearings, they're on each side, upper and lower. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a circle, so on one side and the other. They don't want it like this, they want it like this, so it rides on the rail. So when you look down the centers you see in the picture, you can see the 2 bearings, the 2 rollers, and you can just orient it where the rollers are. You're looking down at them, and you can see that it's not going to be like one down. They're actually going to be sitting on both sides of the rail, so they smooth. They slide better than if it was like one roller here and a roller here and then a roller here and a roller here. So after you get them in the right orientation, then you can lock them down. Now at the same time locking them down, make sure that you're not squishing them. Okay, so they don't want them tightened down all the way anyways. They said that we'll do that later. So let's get the rest of these done. And you can always check to make sure that the bearing didn't move as you were tightening it down, so just do a double check. Make sure that they're still in the right orientation that you wanted. Okay. The bearings are put in. And don't forget that there's lines on the bearings, and just put the lines inside on both sides of it, so you're pretty even when you do that. They're showing a little space, and they're probably giving you a millimeter on here to look at, but those lines are perfectly to go by. Alright, so I was wrong about one thing. That was only on the side, on this one side. So what they want on the other side, where there's two, is they want them pushed as far toward the center as possible. Try not to get out of orientation, but just push them toward the center. And then tighten them back down. All right. Good. That was something new. Last time they actually had it where they were all in the middle. X-axis smooth rod holders. Back in the plastic bag. You have 4 of these. 1, 3. Now let's just take it all out. I don't think they were talking about this or this. I think they're only talking about these 4 right here. 3, 4. They also want M3 by 10, 12. They were saving this screw set for the end. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think that's 11, 12. Okay. We need 12 square nuts. Alright, let's see if I get 12 of these. I found the missing M3 by 8. That over there. Okay, let's count these out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2 spares, exactly what's left. All right, now the 2 rods. The rods box, this is where all the rods were. Okay. This is done. So they put transport oil on these rods so they don't rust. And they want you to rub them down, get all that off of them. Before you put them through the through the bearings here. So here we go. Nice and smooth. Okay. Guess I had it a little too tight. There we go, that's a lot better. Okay. And the other one. Perfect.
One eternity later.
So, welcome back everybody. The last clip that you've seen was the ending of me putting these two bearings in. And if you were listening really close to that, when I moved this over here, you heard a drop of a bearing, just a little bounce of a little metal object. Well, what that little metal object was remember we talked about the little bearings that are inside here and the way that this has got to be on a certain way. And if you watch the video, you remember I said that this has to be loose here and here, and then we put the rod through. And what happened was it was a little too tight, and instead of saying, okay, let's not force it through, I forced it through. And forcing it through, it knocked about four of the little balls out of the main bearing. So they fell out of here. Once they come out, they don't go back in. And they're lost forever. They're somewhere on the floor. They could have went anywhere in this room. So this has been about a week or two the last time that I did this video, and I just came back to it now. So what I had to do is get on PRUSA's website and reorder new bearings, and I did that. And while I did new bearings, I also ordered another thing of the grease. So with that out of the way, now you know why this video didn't come out last week. I actually did another video on the Uniformation resin printer unboxing instead of finishing this up. This actually, I looked at the video, and this is pretty long. I think it's over an hour already. But we're going to keep on going. I want to at least get it built, and I don't know if we'll get a print out of it today, but I at least want to get this fully built and ready to go, because we have other projects coming out on the bench here at Ken's Tech Lab that require this area right here. The bench, this one part of the bench right here, is about the only space I have left in the lab due to the fact of all the printers that I have now. They're all taking up the rest of the areas. So let me grab the laptop and we'll be right back. So I left off right around step 15 of the manual. It was actually, I think, a couple after that, but we're going to have to go back to 15 because after step 16 is when we had to put the Step 18 is when we align the bearings. So, with that said, I need to open up these two new bearings. I ordered 3 actually, just in case there was another mishap. And this is why we have to follow directions. And even following directions, sometimes we make mistakes. And sometimes they cost you a little money. Okay. Now remember that these were sitting in oil from the factory, so we're cleaning that off, easier to work with. That's 1. 2. All right. I'm going to still use I don't want to break open the new one yet, because I believe there's still enough in here to do these. And what we're going to do is go in there, lock, unlock, and bring out. I'm going to go on the other side, lock, unlock. Okay. And then if you have extra, just clean it off. Very easy because you don't want it to get on everything else. Okay, that's 1. Now I do remember where we were on this section here, putting the bearings in, making sure that we have them in the right order. So there and there. And the same thing for this one. Okay. And again, we're back to the same place we were. Let me clean off this rod. And I have since loosened these up. And
yay!
This time they are free moving. Step 19. The way they want these is right here, this part of the bearing, since your load is in the center. They want you to push the bearing more out toward the center and not so much equal. Again, making sure that the bearings are in the right spot. Okay. So they're really making this very different. different. So they want them as close to the center as possible without going over the pocket, which is a little pocket down inside here. They don't want it to go over the pocket edge. So they want us to actually do a little bit more tightening on them. So we're just going to do a little tightening, just a little. Okay, just so the bearings don't fall out. Excellent. Okay, this is where we were last time when I heard the bearing fall down. Was step 20. I got these pieces out. Three and four. And we also got out 12 screws, 12 M3 and S nuts, and the rods. Okay. Using the paper towel, wipe the transport oil, which we did already, surface smooth the rods. So right here it says if you push out a couple of the balls out of the ball bearing, you can put them back in. But if you're missing too many, then it's not a good idea. I didn't want to put a brand new printer with any missing, so that's why I went out and bought the new ones. And this is step 21. So now they want us to tighten these down all the way. Okay. Okay, so what it says, if right now this rod is really tight, so we need to loosen these back up. Now that's the noise I think I should hear. So let me do this up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, let me get some of this over grease off of this. Now I can tell it's moving really well. Okay. And that's exactly what we wanted. Okay, now we're going to put those square nuts into the Y rod holder and insert the two M3 nuts. And this is probably each one of them. So let's take a look. Okay, the bottom, 2, 4, 6, 8. So let's put these in. So on these, there's 2 holes for the square nuts. These are going to be a little bit tough to get in. It requires needle nose. these are not that hard to get in. There it is. It's the angle that they were at. And remember, it's all about centering the square nut where you can see it through the hole. And you know that you won't have any issues if you had to put a screw right through it. There you go. I think right there you can see it. Okay, that's one done. There. That's a little bit better. Since I did drop one of the square nuts on the floor, I'm going to go out and get another one out of the bag. Like I said, always check to make sure that this is all the way down. Because once you get in the position that you need to get that screw in there, you want it just to go straight in without any issues. Okay, that's all 8 of those. And they're trying to show you the same thing without just looking through the holes that these all went into right there. And you look through and you can actually see the hole all the way through, that it's perfect. There's no sign of the nut around that, but what they want you to do is take a key and go through, get one that's smaller, and make sure that you can go through it. All right. Now what they want you to do is kind of add these to the ends of the rods. And what we're going to do is that they all need to be facing inwards with this clip. So we're going to put it inwards. Okay. And we're going to do that for all 4 of them. Now I put it like that. If it's wrong, then we'll just pop it off real quick and change it. But that's the way it looks in the pictures, and you'll see them below. So the screw hole needs to be up, and I call it like a gator clip. Oh, too far in. It's like it doesn't want to be perfect. There we go. Okay, one more. So hold the end. And there we go. Excellent. I think it's excellent. We'll know once we get it on. So it's time to put the Y carriage onto the printer itself. So we need to rearrange just a little bit here to make room for the actual printer to come back up. And you're going to lose a little bit of viewing angles because the whole printer will be up here. Okay. So looking at the picture now, from step 24, no, it actually looks good. I think I have it all sitting nicely. So, if you're looking at the printer straight forward, the 2 go on the left and the 1 goes on the right. Okay. Okay. That's the first hurdle. The second hurdle is that I forgot 4 of the other screws. So I need to take this back off again. Turn it, flip it upside down. And I'll do this. The reason why I didn't see those is because the supports inside are still there on the plastic. Even I miss instruction points. And I have to go back and correct it. Boy, I've been doing a bad job this time, huh? Breaking the bearing. And forgetting square nuts to put into the sides. Just follow the bouncing square nut, which we found. Okay. All 4 of those are in. Now I'm going to turn this back over as everything wants to slide around. All right. In. So we have a couple things. So there's screws that are going into from the outside. There's 2 screw holes on each side of these. And what we're going to do now is take the M3x10, 12 screws that we have here, and we're going to use them all to screw the plastic holder for the rods into, and also keep this tight where the rods won't turn. Alright, let's start. And I'm able to just use my fingers just to twist it in. And making these tight right now is not going to make a difference because the rod is going to slide. Alright. Let's get all these in here, and then we'll tighten down the rod itself. One good thing is they're lining up really well. Okay. That's all 4 on this side. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. How does this look now? Actually, I think that we can screw down the top on the top. That's going to actually press the plastic toward the okay. Doesn't have to be super tight because it's plastic that's wrapping around the round rod pretty evenly. Okay. Turn around. As you can see, the 2 extra screws that I put in there now are here and here, and on the other side there and there. We also have a screw right here that holds the rods from turning. And I'm going to do the same thing on the back side. Now the back side, it isn't like just laying on a piece of metal, so you're going to have to use your fingers to bring it up. Okay. It's good. It needed a little bit of manipulation to go in. Okay. Then again, from the top. Wrong screw. All right, and this slides like it's on glass. It's just, wow, that is so smooth. And that's how we need it. That is exactly what we were looking for. Is that kind of, and you really never know how well you've done until you do get it in here, because the rods could be off while you're holding them until you get all this screwed down. Okay, I don't think we need to play with that anymore. Let's go to our next section. So that puts all the screws in. And important, proper alignment of the smooth rod is crucial to reduce noise and overall friction. Move the carriage back and forth across the entire length of the smooth rods to align them, which I did. You couldn't ask for better alignment through the whole travel of the smooth rods here. Okay. So what it wants us to do is recheck the screws to make sure that when you moved it back and forth, that they didn't loosen. Or the alignment didn't change. Need my tool back. Thank you. Excellent. Can't believe how easy that is to move. Okay, it won't be once we get a belt wrapped around it. That'll be end of that free movement. All right. This is just about tightening the screws, making sure everything's in place. All right, now it's time for these pieces right here. And this is the Y belt, and this is going to be holding the belt on, and also with the screw around it to have a tension on it. And this one's also going to require the M3x40 screw, which is 1. This is why I try never to like pack up a bench while I'm in the middle of a build, because when I packed this up I had to put everything away, and I threw all the bolts, nuts into one box, and I kind of had a system where everything was prior to this. M3x40, M3x10. I need 4 of those. They're actually all just laying to the bottom of this box. What else do we need? M3N nut. This one is the nut that has the plastic insert to keep it from backing out automatically. Just one of these. Okay. A GT220 pulley, and the famous pin. Nothing but a piece of metal, round. On the back of one of these is a place to put that nut. So that goes right inside there. You know how easy these are to get in. Okay, this is going to go the hard way. Okay, I'll pull it down straight. And we bang on it. Okay. That's how you do that.
Yay!
All right. We have to flip this whole thing over so we can get to the bottom of it. There, I think that's it. If that's what the picture looks like, you should see it in the bottom of your screen. Lean the printer onto the right side, push the pin into the pulley, and center it. Okay, I can do that. centered. Okay, take, I'm going to say it's this one right here. And let's undo or get the pulley out of the bag. And I said look for the orientation of the teeth. Okay, because the teeth need to be oriented with the same amount, go to the grooves that are already here. Okay, what we're going to do is push this down all the way, and what I usually do is take my needle nose and just kind of help it along the way so it's all even all the way around. Because we don't need an uneven belt to give us trouble. Okay, and the one right where the belt comes out is where you need to put that screw. And what that's going to do is widen up the gap here in the plastic. In turn, will close the plastic off so the belt can't come back out. Okay, remember this is plastic into plastic, so don't over tighten. Okay, so I was kind of thinking that I had the wrong one. Let's take this screw back out. I'm just redoing what I did on the other one over again because I had it in the wrong piece of plastic. So just doing it again. Make sure that's down as far as you can get it. Okay. And then we'll take that screw, put it in this one. Any weird noises that you hear in the videos, it's the robots in the background doing things, walking around. All right, now we can go forward. So this goes on the back hole. One day I will get this correct. It's in the right piece now, just going the wrong direction. All right, there we go. So we have the right block this time. And I have it going out the right direction. Right there. And the hole that it's going to go down, the screw is going to go in, is right there. Okay. Now, we need another M3x10 screw. And we're going to put it in the hole. At least we think we are. And this, what this does is you have to screw this down before you put this belt across it, or you won't be able to screw it in. So we're stuck in there. That's good. And we might have to actually turn over to an Allen key to get in there correctly. Bigger one. Oh, look that big. Try this one. And it's actually got a back plastic piece that goes over to actually get it right centered where you want it or where it needs to be. Okay, it's tight. It's in. So it wants us to actually go ahead and put the belt around the pulley and make sure that doesn't go there. Okay. Do we already have the spindle on this one? We do. Okay. Make sure that it's not like under. Okay. And then, okay, so I have it around one part. And this one gets done with an M3 by 10. Okay, we're going to take the needle nose and we're going to push this down into its holder. Now this one's a little bit harder because you don't have as much room on this belt to put it on the table. So just work with the rubber's going to give and eventually go in there. It's just going to give you a little bit of a hard time before it does it. There we go. It's going now. Just needed a little bit of a heave ho. Okay, we're supposed to secure it with an M3 by 10. Remember, we've already put one in this when I made the mistake. Let's see, guide the y-axis around the y-axis motor pulley. Make sure that the belt is inside the frame, not under. Take the free end of the Y-belt guiding from the pulley and push it into the groove of the Y-belt tensioner. Secure with an M3 by 10 screw. And that's what we did. And that's all they want us to do on step 29. On step 30, okay, they want us to take part of the belt and that roller we have, the one that's trying to get away from me, okay, we need to put it around the belt itself. You kind of pinch it there, right? But give yourself enough looseness without dropping everything. Stick that in and pull forward, which will put weight on it. And then you didn't pay attention to the orientation again, did you? One day, Ken. One day. Going back from the other part, M3 by 10, and slide it through the tensioner, which goes through one of these. Straight to the other. So I'm going to loosen this a little bit. Okay. And what will hold them straight, so that goes right through to the other side. Then able to get it started in that other nut. Sorry I'm not talking right now, I'm just having a wonderful time with these screws. Alright. If it's not one little problem, it's another little problem. So let's see if we can get this little problem sorted. Come here, light. Need a light. And it's barely moved on the tightener, so let's loosen this back up a little bit. Alright. That feels about good. There. Alright. Boy. That was no fun. Check this light. Alright. Let's bring it, the bottom of it, toward you guys. Alright. This belt, as you can see, when the belt moves, now it's sliding, because we had to put both of these pieces of plastic that I put the screws through and the belt through here, and also through, jeez, it's hard to get, okay, through the pulley right here and crossed, and then the motor that we put on a long time ago, it has a shroud around it and it goes around there. All in all, not a fun procedure. And I'm starting to wonder, you know, how much they charge to put these together, from the base price to the kit price. And after putting these together, you kind of see the time. I mean, you know, the guys that put it together, 100 of these a day, probably can do this in their sleep. But you know, us tinkerers don't have that luxury. We do it once. If it breaks, then we get to take it down and fix that part, but then we put it back together again. Okay, this was fun. So this part's done. And they're telling us to don't over tighten, which I did over tighten and now I brought it back. Tensioning the belt, we want to be able to take the front and just push it down a little bit from the top. Okay, this is perfect. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. It's telling us to make sure that we tighten down the screws underneath, which I did. And it wants us to do that belt tension check again with the phone, but in the earlier episodes when I did that up here, you remember how fun that was not. And we got a different reading every time that we did that. I'm doing this by hand just like I did that by hand and not wasting the time. If I have issues with either one of them, I will realign or retension. Alright. It wants us to make sure that the belt is in a straight line with the motor axis, which it is. Okay, it wants us to do the expansion joint parts preparation. Expansion joints times 8. This is new. This was not in the MK3 Plus, S Plus. Now, the MK3 S Plus, if this is going to go where I think it's going to go, yeah it is. There was just a little standoffs that you put in each one of these holes. And then screw the hot plate to it, the hot bed to it. Alright. It wants the M3-6R. I'm sure those are a one-time use. M3-4BT. I bet you're going to use those too. M3-6R, we have a packet of 9 pieces, 1 spare, non-resealable. Okay, so we're just going to take them all out, put one. And leaving the one in there. Okay, so what they want us to do is start these screws. Get out this one. But start them, do not tighten them. So, there we go, 1. 2. 3. None in the middle. That's strange. Okay, that's all of them in. Yeah. Installing the expansion joints. So we need to slide them in like that. And what else are we going to do? There's a wrong way and a right way. Well, that looks like a right way. Needs to be done carefully. It is critical for the correct functionality of the printer. Carefully read the instructions. Slide the expansion joint from the side on the M36 screw. Make sure the expansion joints are correctly oriented. There is a recess with approximately the same shape as the expansion joint. The joint must fit into the recess. See the second picture. Okay. Maintain the position and tighten the M36R screw using the 2.0 Allen key. I think that's too small, yeah. And we have to go through this. Yeah, I think that's a little bit more work than just the standoffs were. There's only one way to put these on. And once you put the Allen key through the hole, you're actually holding the hose set in the one position, so it's not going to move. There's only one recess slot. I've been wrong about a lot of things tonight about this printer, so why not this? Yep, I was wrong. It's fine. It's fine. So they kind of lock themselves in sideways because the notch that slides under the screw is to the side. I need to make sure that I got every one of these. This is the one I was starting and didn't realize I was just the wrong way. Now, what if the top went on the other way? Yeah, because it's the same center. But the locking mechanism that they have wouldn't have been the same. Alright. They are all on, they're all tight. They're all even, they're all perfect. Alright. Now, this is going to be part 38. We're going to do the little screws. Those are really small. I believe the ones that I said we're going to use these soon because they were so small. There's nowhere else that they would be used at. No, here they are. The M3 4BT. These are really small screws. Okay, how many spares in here? One. So this is a resealable bag. And we need, what's in this bag? This spacer. It's a little bitty spacer. Okay, my bag is done. And the M314BT. One. Okay, found it. One with one spare. So 2 pieces total, and we get a spare. Okay. Alright, the spacer goes in the center, Center, see? It's all lonely there, just right the center. Our one last piece that we have that still hasn't been hooked to the little board. So, okay. The center screw is going to be that longer one. It looks like a hex screw, is it? Or is it this size? It's this size. Okay. Now that I got the center in there, right? Place the spacer into the Y carriage, which we did, align it to the hole in the center, put the heat bed on the Y carriage, secure it by the M314. Do not fully tighten the screw yet because of course we might have to adjust. Alright, so it wants us to do the inner screws first and the outer screws. But they want us just to put the screws in place first, so that's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to put the screws in the order that they want to be tightened in. Not tightening any of them down yet, just hand tight. Okay, now we're going to do the outers. Alright, recheck all the holes to make sure every hole is filled with a screw. They are. Now what we're going to do is go by the tightening that they have. Center screw first. Okay, tight. Now we're going to go to the middle. 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 Hey, I want this back. Mine. Middle. Middle. Now that all the middles are done, now we can start doing the edges. Alright. All done. Y carriage heat bed. I got the Wi-Fi module and a big PRUSA cover. This is the filament guide and a spool holder. And that's all I have for parts. Heat bed cable holder. Okay, in the video you're going to hear the background noise kick up. That's because I've turned on the air conditioning. And I found out in most of my videos, that's what the extra noise is the air conditioner. I cannot help it. I can't seem to get rid of that noise in this room where I actually record. Okay. So, in the buddy board, I think that you're mostly on it now. Oh, wrong one. it's going to go in right there. So that's what we're going to work on right now. Goes around. And this new set of wires go through there. Okay, push the heat bed cables and heat bed thermistor cable through the square opening on the back of the buddy box. Okay, push the filament through, which we did. Let's see, push the filament through the circle hole right below. Okay. So, circle hole right below, there it is. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Now I need to turn it toward me and get the thermistor right there. I gotta watch my camera because it's saying it's going to overheat. When it does that, it shuts down. Alright, the thermistor's in. And there are two screw holes right here that are going to be for the heat bed. And toward the thermistor is the red. So let's get out the other two screws that I had here. These are Phillips. So we're going to take the first one. I love how they don't exactly fit, but we will make it do. Okay. All right. And the black is on the right side. Find that other Phillips screw. All right. Thermistor's in. The positive and negative are on the terminals as they are described here in the instructions. Now, how it wants to go is we grab this and two M3 by 6s. Okay? Yep, M3 by 6, 22 pieces. Okay. These, let's see what the sizes are. Nope, we're going to go back to the bigger size on that. Now we're going to kind of, how does this go in? Let's take a good look at it. Okay, so it goes like this. It's kind of going to press over that entire thing. And let's get a screw started so it should stick in the plastic. Okay, we just want to get it started and then be able to slip the other one in. Look at that, it looks beautiful. Alright. Show you guys what happened. Okay. So coming in the back, we have the bed wire going down and out, and then it comes in here. The red and black are screwed down, and then the thermistor wire just plugs into the board right there. This one's easy. I think the hardest part of this one was getting that felt or the stuff to hold it together, the wire together. Okay. Verify all the connections. Let's verify. We have X. We have X, Y, Z left, Z right. We have the LCD cable, extruder main cable. We have nothing in the next one. Power panic, remember that from the earlier episode. PE cable, which is a ground strap. And we have the power cables coming from the power supply. And the heat bed thermistor and the positive and negative. Everything is in. And everything looks just like it does in their pictures. Okay. Installing the ESP module. So we need the ESP module. Which is part of the, where is that? It's part of the electronics kit. There it is. Ah, there we go. Comes in a little bag all by itself. Actually in, this is cool, it's actually in a little plastic container with a plastic lid over it. Then we need the little piece of plastic that says Wi-Fi. Oh, I left that out. There they are. Alright, this little piece of plastic says Wi-Fi. We need one M3x6 screw. Since we just used it for that other piece of plastic, I knew they were going to be close. And the Wi-Fi cover and the Wi-Fi module. Alright. The Wi-Fi module plugs right in the back. It's just a plug-in. Like any electronic board, make sure you touch something metal. Make sure you have no shocks on you. Make sure you don't bend any pins taking it out. And this is going to go across the board, slide in, and it's done. It's got the antenna, chip, and everything all built on. So there is, right there. Oops, get in the light. Right there, just plugs right in, and then we'll put a cover over it. And don't worry, the Wi-Fi is not going to be obstructed by the this little plastic cover. Okay. This. Okay, Wi-Fi cover is on. Wi-Fi is plugged in. Covering the buddy box. It's time to put this thing and finalize it. Spent a long road to build this one. But I mean, the PRUSA, or the PRUSA clone build was the same number of videos, but I don't think I did them as long. Because a couple of these, like this video is going to be well over 2 hours. And I had the other video was 1 hour and 45 minutes. No one said they minded these long videos, so I figure let's take this to the end. Okay, we got 4 M3x6 screws. This is 2 spares. I only got 1. Got the cover and 2 M3x10 screws. Those are just laying on the bottom of the box because they all fell out. Okay. Okay. Push the M3x10 screws through the L-box cover. Okay, so this little cover kind of goes on the bottom. So we're going to take the 2 M3x10 screws and put them through it. That means if they go that deep, I can't use my screwdriver. This will fit. Yeah, that'll fit. Okay, good. Alright. This goes where it says PRUSA, pointing up. Goes with those two, so I need to actually put this up in the air so I can see it. So we're going to lay it on its side. I might have to move some of these wires a little bit. Hopefully not. Okay. That and that. Wow, it went right in. Okay. So let me turn this around. So we just put on this cover right here. This is PRUSA. 2 screws went in, and then what it's doing is it's separating the power from the digital. Okay. All right. Now we're going to put the main cover over everything over here, and that's going to be this little cover. It's just going to cover. And voila. And then we kind of hold it with one hand so we can get at least 1 screw in it so it doesn't. There we go. I'm not going to dig these in tight because they don't need to be. I'm just kind of put them in with my hand. To get the one in the corner right here, I need to bring up these axis screws so I can get it screwed in. Okay. All right. All right. Looks like we have a printer except for the spool holder, which is next. All right. I'm also going to take a clean cloth and wipe my fingerprints or oils off this bed with alcohol. Okay. There we go. Okay, here's the spool holder parts. All right, just like all the other ones, they just go in, just turn, and you have a spool holder. Now we have what they call the filament guide assembly. This is something new, and it looks like a T. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the PTFE tubes in here. Filament guide fasteners. All right, They have a bag just for this. Crazy. Okay. Insert the M3 end nuts into the marked openings on the bottom. We always need our wonderful needle nose pliers for this. Make sure that we get them down there. Okay, that's one. It's not cooperating. Cool. Insert the tubing. That's 2 tubings. These make it easy for the filament to run through. They just slide in. Okay, so they want us to put 2 M3x10 screws in, and what that's going to do is put pressure on these tubes so they won't fall out. Okay, that's one. Okay, and now they're in there. The screws are in there, and the nuts. Okay. Okay, on the bottom, there is another opening on the side, right there. And I'm going to stick another one of these nuts in there. Okay, so we're going to put, I could get the camera up a little bit because we're working up here now. And a little bit over. Okay. So, there's the back of the printer. We're going to put center if possible the spool holder. That. Let's get this up further. Hey everybody. Alright. Now, this is going to actually clamp on to the front of this on the first and go above it. It's kind of weird. Okay. Like that. And then we put the screw through, which is a large one. Okay. And that is the new spool holder with the easy to manipulate, because you can put 2 spools on here, so you can have 2 coming out. And it says it's gummy time. but I think that we will wait on the gummy time. And it says that's it. The printer's built. Wow. There is the beast, fully built. I believe this is episode 10. And now, we still don't know if it's going to blow up. So, there's always a possibility that I'll be ordering another one because this one started smoking. You never know. So we have and there you go, smooth plate. Alright, let's go to next. Alright, pre-flight check. Put on the bed, make sure it fits, make sure it's in there. It's clean. It's firmware updates. Alright. Okay, are we ready to plug it in? Everybody's going, no! We don't have to worry about the voltage because it's predetermined when you plug it in. Alright. Okay, down in the comments. Is this going to smoke? Let's find out. Okay, plugged it in. Nothing yet. Said something. Hey, look, that's Joseph Prusa right there. Okay, continue. Whoops, I forgot it's not touchscreen. Self-test will now begin to check for potential assembly related issues. In other words, did I put it together right or not? Okay, continue. There's both fans of the hot end are lit and spinning. I have green check so far. Welcome back, everybody. And the ending of the last part of this that I just probably did a transition through was the failure of the x-axis on the test, the initial test. Now, I'm still in that area of the initial test. So, right here, let me bring the printer center to this. We have the printer, and I'm going to go back into settings. I forget if it's in here. Let's see. I think it's under control. Okay, so I'm going to run the self-test again, and while that's doing that, I'll explain what happened. On the back of the unit, back here, in the very back, there's the point where the wires come out of the lug board and go around and plug into the buddy board. Those wires are connected with two zip ties. The zip tie heads were pointing toward the right. They have such close proximity to the frame that it was stopping the extruder from going all the way over the x-axis to go all the way over to the right. On top of that, this printer has a little cover that covers the right side, and what it does is just covers two wires going across the plastic so you don't see them. This was too much, and it was hitting also, and both of those together caused the failure on the x-axis. So after dealing with that, let's go back to what we were doing before and continue the test. So now we're going to do the load cell test, which this is the touch on the hot end. So what I did was just tap the hot end when it said so. Now it's going to do a check. Okay, checking the x-axis. This is where we had our error, and you see it's green check now. Before they came up with an X right there, and that was causing all of our issues. All right, we test great on all this. Now it's going to do a nozzle heater test, which is going to heat the nozzle. So we can say that the putting this together was fine. All parts are working fine. All tests are passing without any issues, and I'm glad it was just a few little things like, well, zip ties. I would not think that the zip ties being in a special location would not stop it from completing a test, or the side cover. I have contacted PRUSA as far as the side cover now. And because the zip ties are my fault, they should have went into a little section down below and got hidden. But the side cover, they said don't worry about it. They're still working on a small problem with the x-axis and it going all the way over to the right. So for now, I'm just going to leave that side cover off. All right. All that tested fine, and we already did the gearbox alignment, so we don't need to do that again. And I will go through, skip that, and we'll continue to do the filament runout sensor test. So is there filament in there? No. Okay, insert the filament. And there it is. Filament detected. Remove the filament to finish. Out. Filament sensor is working fine. So as you can see, the self-test and all the areas all finished without any issues. So we have a good working machine. And that brings us up to our first print. So I'm going to see what we can print off of this. This is the, let's see if I can get it, USB that comes with it from PRUSA. Let's okay, stick the USB in. It's reading the USB. The scraper, they have a plastic scraper. That's going to take 45 minutes. Let's see. Okay, we got the spatula. I call it a scraper. The filament guide. Robo. What's this? Robo Alpaca. It says it's going to take 45 minutes to print this. How about a Benji? They don't have a Benchy loaded in here. Alright, so let's just do a spatula, which is going to take 45 minutes, and let's print. Filament not detected. Load filament. Okay, we're going to make it red. Okay. Load filament now. Okay. This would be PLA. And what it's going to do now, it's heating the hot end. Let me move the camera so we can see the entire printer. All right. Okay, loading filament. It's purging, and there goes the first purge. Now, like the other one, it's going to ask you, was there enough purge? Is the color correct? Purge more. And there it comes. Is the color correct? Yes. And there's lights on the bottom that, remember when we put the LEDs in the bottom of this with the kind of a mirror, the reflector. And right now the bed temperature is at 45°C and rising, and the hot end temperature is at 196 and falling. So let's hope that the print job comes out good. So far this is the quietest printer I have in my stock of printers. The fans are whisper quiet. I can't hear anything. So it looks like it's running a calibration right now. Okay, E-heating must be extruder. And now it's setting up to 215. The bed is staying at 60 of 60. And here we go. Okay, it's printing and sticking, and that's always a good thing. And the first layer looks very good. everybody enjoyed that quick print, the first print of the MK4. It printed without an issue. It looks good, so let's take it off the build plate. And see how well it comes off. Hardly any bending at all. The only thing we had was puts a little piece up there to clear the nozzle. And we'll put this right back on. And here's the piece. Looks very good. It says printables.com on the back. Very readable. I don't think you can actually see that. So this was a journey. This journey took quite a while to get this built, but we did it. We finished the journey, and we did a good job. I appreciate everybody that watched all 10 of this PRUSA MK4 build, the 10-part series. I want to thank you for joining with Ken's Tech Lab. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've added a special thanks button to my my videos. It's called a super thanks, and everybody that watches this channel knows that I purchase all that you see. Everything that you've seen on my channel is purchased by me. It's not given to me. It's about, I don't know, probably $10,000 worth of printers I've purchased and other things. So any help would, until I get monetized on YouTube, which is 1,000 subscribers, I really appreciate if anybody could donate or give a little bit in the super thanks. I'll appreciate it. Thank you in advance. And I hope everybody stays with the channel. We're going to do a lot of nice things and upcoming big things, like we have projectors, screens, more printers, painting we're going to get into. So it's going to be a fun time, especially in 2024. So like always, stay awesome with Ken's Tech Lab. Bye.